Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress, live Wednesday night podcast. We are so excited to have you all here with us again this evening. We are very blessed for your audienceship, and we have so many exciting things coming up. So make sure you tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock because you're not going to want to miss an episode. This episode is no different than the other. It's exciting and a lot of great information. Today we are talking about ADA in real estate, all things real estate, from mortgage to appliances to real estate brokers and everything in between. So I want to welcome my guest right away because I do not want to miss a minute of all of this great information. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hi, Tina.
Having us. Hi, Tina.
Thanks, Tina.
Well, we're going to start right in tonight, and I'm going to have each of you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and why the ADA is important to you. So, Melissa, let's start with you.
Hi, everyone. And Tina, thank you so much for having me and our colleagues here tonight. Very excited to be here and very blessed. Thank you. So I've been in the real estate industry field for about 32 years here in Rhode Island in Southern Massachusetts. My main focus has always been investments, helping the communities and helping others achieve their real estate goals, fixing, rehabbing, and just making communities beautiful and again, helping and giving back. ADA is extremely important to me as I am an autism mom for my child who will be 18 years old in 2 weeks, and also very close friends with you and getting to know the ADA world the past 4 or 5 years through you and with you, and helping as much as we can. We need to help our communities, and what better way than to collaborate together with everyone.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Pat, we're going to go to you next.
Yeah, I'm Pat Kelly. I'm with Frank D. Clementi's Appliance. We provide ADA appliance is for different manners, different homes. It's very important for people to have access to their kitchens, to their fridges. I work very closely with Melissa Baker, very dear friend. She's brought me into this. So I'm kind of limited as far as what I can tell you, but I can tell you anything about appliances, what's needed for people to have access to their kitchens. Very important to me. And thank you, Tina.
Oh, you're welcome. And Pat was one who helped me get a fridge here when they built my Habitat for Humanity house. So they are very involved in the community and always willing to give back. Jack, let's hear a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Tina. And it's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Jack Flynn. I'm a loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage. I focus on first-time home buyers and veteran buyers in New England and in Florida. This community is new to me in a couple different ways. Melissa actually was the first agent that introduced me to ADA access on a property, probably 3 or 4 years ago. More recently for me, it's been working with a veteran group through Freedom Rose, and I never really understood how much need there was for this. So I'm happy to be here. I'll give you a little bit of information on different types of loans that could be used to help people that need better access in their homes. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's not about it, because that's a whole bunch of stuff that we need to know about. So thank you all for being here. We're going to start off with you, Melissa. What is the biggest challenge that you see when you're trying to list or sell real estate that requires the ADA influence?
So when you have a property and if you're in the wheelchair and you cannot get into that property, well, that's an issue. You can't view that property and obviously you can't live there. So having ADA compliant and accessible properties from entry to navigating around the property is, you need it. You need it for life. You need it for living. So speaking with and talking with builders and rehabbers who are renovating properties or who are building new builds, instead of the standard, why not completely build this property or renovate the property you're renovating and have the wider doorways, have the one level flooring, so you don't have the thresholds, not different levels. Having that that primary bedroom with a ensuite or full bath on the first floor. You can still have your bedrooms upstairs. You can still have bathrooms upstairs, but focus on that one level on that first floor. And, you know, the walkways where, so you can have it so it's all one level. You can take that wheelchair and it can just go right on in, whether it's a walkway or whether it's a ramp. Why not work and think of what you can do, not after the fact?
Yeah, that is so true, because I know a lot of it has, with the video walkthroughs of housing, has been a huge, comeback for us, and a good game changer for the way that we get to view houses, going forward. It's so important to make sure that you have stock everything, because with 40% of Rhode Island using a mobility device and our aging population going to be over 50% by 2030, these properties are going to be gold mines. If you build them, like they say, if you build them, they will come. And there are people out there that need this housing. Jack, what are some of the loans that go along with this? So now we find a property that happens to be, compliant or easily fixable to be compliant. What is our next step going towards the loan and the mortgage side of it?
So there's a couple different ways that you can approach this. You can approach it from a purchase perspective, or if you're already a homeowner, you can look at it in a refinance, both in the form of renovation loans. The steps in the process, whether it's a purchase or whether it's a refinance, are very similar in the different renovation products that are available. Those products are available through Fannie Mae, through Freddie Mac, with their Home Style and their Choice renovation program. And then with FHA, Federal Housing Administration, and VA, Veterans Administration, they both have renovation loans. So there is a slight process to going through a purchase for renovation, as far as adding whatever it is that you need changed or adjusted in the home to suit your needs.
Yeah, that's great. And here in Rhode Island, we are the only state that has the home modification grant, which will pay you 50% up to whatever your modifications are. Now, you already have to own the home at this point. If it's an $8,000 ramp that you're putting in, they will give you back $4,000. If it's a $6,000 project, they will give you back $3,000, because it's 50% up to $4,000. And it's a grant. You do not have to pay it back. That is what they offer you. Now, if you're a landlord, they will still do this. They will still give you 50%. The landlord, though, would have to sign that they will keep that ramp or whatever modification it is for 10 years and modify it. So is that something that they can put in when they're purchasing a home, or is that something that they can only deal with after the fact if they already own the home, Jack?
So they could do for grant applications, they can do that during the acquisition process if they're buying. So those grants, for example, Network RI has a system that you can apply for a grant in certain municipalities. Some of those grants do have an application fee, and then they have specific uses on what you can do with it. ADA falls into most of those uses for what we're talking about. Some of those grants go up to $20,000. I've seen with the city of Providence, and yeah, some of the timeframes on them can go from 4 weeks to 6 weeks in that process. So you could do it in line from when you sign your sales contract until when you close.
That is amazing. And since we are live, we have a first question, and it just so happens that our first question goes to Pat Kelly. Pat, the question is, what do they have for ADA compliance appliances for the homes?
Well, they have many ADA compliant appliances. It depends on what your disability is or what your handicap is. You have ranges now where they used to have slide-in ranges and front freestanding ranges. Now they have what they call front control ranges. And what that means is all the controls are in front, easy accessible. You don't have to reach across a flame or a hot stovetop. So it's easier for the person to work with from a wheelchair or from any standpoint, less chance of burning themselves, fires. So basically all the appliances have controls that are accessible, easily accessible, easy to load. So whether you're, you're newly handicapped or something like that, these houses now are becoming more friendly towards people with disabilities. ADA is come to the table big time for veterans, for people with handicaps. And it makes it just so much more easier and accessible for them to use. Like Melissa said, having a house that you can get into, and then the kitchen's very important. So being able to use these appliances. So fridges have controls that are lower, dishwashers are lower, ranges have all the controls up front. So it's very friendly, user friendly.
Yeah. The one new appliance that I like is the stoves that open to the side instead of pulling down so you're reaching over the door. They have them where they open sideways. And I actually have a voice operated microwave because I can't be within 5 feet of my microwave because of the bladder control thing the system that I have inside my body. So I can set my microwave and everything and then start it from 5 feet away and yell at it and it starts for me. So they do have so many amazing appliances that can be suitable for those with disabilities and accessible appliances. So that way, no matter what your disability is, there's always something out there for you to use. Melissa, tell us a little bit more of how you navigate your day-to-day job with being an autistic mom, and how does that change the way that you look at things?
So I have to be on the go and go with the flow. My daughter comes first no matter what, so I have to be on call at all times, whether it's a call from the school or the camp or whatever it is. If she needs me, I have to be there. It's just really staying focused and helping her, helping the family, and helping my community and helping my colleagues, and just really trying to stay as focused as I can, keep learning and growing. After all these years, I mean, you still keep learning and growing and helping and giving back. And it takes a village. Everybody's helping each other. I know I can call you, I can call Pat, I can call Jack, where it's a team effort, and accomplishing whatever that goal is, whether it's the client, getting them the house and having what they need. And also with my daughter with autism for the past 17, 18 years, it gives a perspective, and so loving, so kind, and helping everyone. Everyone needs help. And no matter where you're from or what you do in life, but we're here to help each other.
Yeah, it must make you look at properties differently and different individuals, especially I know you have looked at things differently since you met me and all the things that I can't do or I can't accomplish. Is that the same thing when your daughter has an invisible disability like autism? Does it make you see things in a different light when you're selling things, or does it make you sell differently because you have her back in your mind?
Safety is probably the number one thought at all times, for many reasons. She used to be a bolter, meaning she would just fly and run. It could be a moving car, never afraid of anything. So I think safety on all levels is probably the number one focus, and then accessibility, and also safety can be the location, but also how the house is built, what does it offer? If it's a new build or if it's been renovated, was it done correctly into code and, safety in all respects. And I would say that would be the number one focus.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Jack, do you look at things differently now that you know Melissa or me or all of the veterans that you know, with when you're coming up with plans of making a mortgage or financial in any way? How does that change you when you're putting ADA into the mix?
So that's a great question. I think that the more I learn about this community, there's tiny things that we miss that could be obstructions for somebody that's in a wheelchair or doesn't have use of a limb or multiple limbs. I'm very fortunate that I'm at a point where I truly enjoy serving other people to help live their lives. Lending money is not really as complicated as you would think. It's just trying to understand the need of the individual or the family. And once you understand that, my job is very, very easy with putting together financing, whether it's a purchase or a refinance, whether they're a veteran or not. Understanding what their need is, trying to satisfy, and that need gives me great satisfaction. So I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful. So I enjoy putting these loans together for people that need that assistance.
That's great. And we have another question, and it goes to you, Jack. The question is, does somebody on SSDI, are they harder to get financed than somebody, that works a job? Is it possible to get financed?
So it is. SSI, SSDI, they're both sources of income that we can use. It would come down to, is that just a portion of the overall income when we look at it? Right now, as most people know, we've had tremendous increases in home values. Shelter housing is one of the biggest concerns in the country right now. So yes, we can use those sources of income that you mentioned. It's just a matter of, are we going to have multiple streams of income that are a part of that loan? Can that be one of them? Yes. So it's important for whoever you're working with on your mortgage financing to ask the right questions. If you don't feel something, or if you do feel something was missed during the loan interview process, definitely put that out there that you're receiving SSI or SSDI.
All right, perfect. Melissa, the next question is for you. How often do you come across an accessible home, or what is the ratio, do you think, in Rhode Island right now of accessible homes to be sold?
For me, in my experience and what I see, it's extremely low. I do not see many out there, at least on the market for sale, as far as accessibility. I know I was renovating a kitchen just a few months ago, and I had called you about, okay, well, there's a space, for the wheelchair, not just what's the minimum, how wide do you need to get into the kitchen and out? So thinking about these things, and when I go into the properties, I don't see that in Rhode Island. And I think we're missing it. We need it. And whether it's a house for sale or even a rental, we need it.
Oh, absolutely. Frank, this is Pat, this is going to be an easy question for you. People want to know how they can contact you to come and check out some of the appliances that you have. So can you give us your contact information?
Sure, it's Frank DiClemente's, Reservoir Avenue, Cranston. It's 401-785-2627. And Tina brought up a good point, and Melissa had brought this up to me. The appliances today, almost all of them across the board, are remote enabled, which means you can start anything from your dryer, your washer, microwave, range, all the way up from your phone, from your smartphone. So it does contribute to helping people get their stuff done. If you can't get up and down, you can start it from everywhere today.
Yeah, that is great. Give that contact information one more time.
It's Reservoir Avenue, Frank D. Clementi's in Cranston, Rhode Island, 401-785-2627.
Thank you so much. That's great. Melissa, why don't you tell us the companies that you work for or own, because you don't really work for them, you own them, and give us your contact information while we're at it.
Sure. I am a broker associate and investor with EXP, and I am part of the White Lion Group. I'm the team leader, and we are brokered by EXP Realty. My cell phone, my direct number is area code 401-588-2400. And I and my whole team, we cover all of Rhode Island, Southern Massachusetts, and we have affiliates throughout the whole US and in other countries. And I'm here to help guide, and if anything to do with real estate.
And they do it all. Let me tell you, they're part of that family that is in every area of real estate possible. So Melissa is a good person to know. Jack, why don't we make the full round robin? Why don't you give out your information so everybody has it too?
So Jack Flynn, and I'm a loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage. Cell phone number is 401-569-3731. That's 569-3731. And web address is pretty simple. It's heroeswayhome.com, and that will take you to my Fairway webpage. And I enjoy talking to people. If they have questions, whether they think I can help them or not, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to get you the right answer if I don't already have it.
Yeah, Jack is so much fun to talk to. I think we talked 2 hours the other day on a whole bunch of other stuff. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit, and I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, still in the field, but a little bit different. Melissa, with all of the money coming down with affordable housing, and what would you like to see them do with some of the money that they have for affordable housing?
So you broke up a little bit there. You were asking about the money that the state's getting for affordable housing.
Yeah, I would like you to give your input on what you think they should do with some of the money.
Oh, that's a great question. So I have some really, I think, some great ideas. I think what this state is missing, which we could all, it would just be so beneficial for the state, that if I envision having, you could have like a community, a village within a community. And maybe if you had shotgun mini ranches so that they're ADA compliant. You and I had discussed this one time. So for instance, say you had a shotgun ranch and there were mini houses all around, and you had a community center in the middle, community garden, and so forth. And you could have, say someone like yourself living with my daughter, where you could help each other. It's accessible. And then you have the community center, and it's just one great community, one great village helping each other. And that could be affordable. And who knows, you could always start, maybe there's a coffee shop, or you start something all healthy and organic, and it's all around the real estate. So it could be built much bigger than just the housing. I think that the rentals, I think we need rentals that are built, especially for the ADA community. So especially for the first level. So even if you have a high rise, or you have 3 or 4 floors, why not make at least the whole first floor ADA compliant and accessible? Maybe they add elevators. If they have the grant and they have the money, why not? Why not think to the future? Not just build something to build it with thought for the future. and do it right, and do it right the first time. And why not do a study and get input, say from like yourself, from others who are in wheelchairs, who need help and so forth. What are your needs? What are you looking for? And get the feedback from the community, then build it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Jack, I'd love to have your take on that.
Well, a big item that we hear about nowadays is diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? I think that we overlook this population of our society. I know in a conversation that I had with you previously, which I never thought of, which was access to the beach for people that live in the ocean state, right? And how do we get them access to things like that? And again, more exposure of sharing that lifestyle that someone in that community might have will help us understand and make all of us more diverse and more inclusive, I think. So I'm really happy to be talking about this. I think there's a definite need for it. And the more that we discuss this, the more we can help each other, because it really is, it's a two-way street, right? Like when we help each other.
Yeah.
So we need to talk more about it. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on this. What do you think some of that money should be used for?
I think as far as my opinion on this is, I think the appliance industry is way ahead of the curve. They've made appliances a lot more easier and accessible for use in a handicapped home. I think they need the input from you, and you're the one, your group, your people are going to be the ones that say, listen, I can't do this or I can do that. So I think we need to listen to you more. I have people come in all the time and say, Jesus, why would I have remote enabled appliances? That's a waste of time. They're forgetting about that whole other segment that needs that. So I think I agree with Melissa, where Melissa says make everything accessible, but we need your input more than anybody else's.
I agree. I think everybody should listen to me. That's really the way I go on that. Melissa, did you have something to say that?
I wanted to mention also another thought is, we have nursing homes that are closing or have been closed, or we have different facilities throughout the state that the buildings are vacant. Why not go in and retrofit? Or I don't have the nursing home background, but I would think that most of them should already be ADA compliant. Go in, update them. Now maybe turn it into housing. We have mill buildings throughout the whole state. Why not turn some of the mill buildings into ADA compliant and accessible housing, whether you're renting or selling? But then maybe you can have a community center in the middle and make it just beautiful and healthy, and a place where people are proud to live, proud to go to, proud to bring their friends and family. I also wanted to mention, when you had unveiled that beautiful table that you had designed, so that was a huge light bulb that when I saw it, for instance, so many people have these beautiful islands in the kitchen. So like you said, everybody gathers around. That's where the families and the friends, that's what you do. You gather around, you have dinner, you have a bite to eat and so forth. Well, you have the islands. Well, what about someone in a wheelchair? So why not at the end? Why don't we start having these islands, and then we have a section at the end where now the wheelchairs, one or two, can at least join in, and it fits perfectly. Why not?
Yeah, I agree with you. And now this is a part of the show where I get a little geeky and I bring up all of the statistics, because the disability community is the largest minority in the country. It is also the only minority that does not discriminate across the board. It's also the only minority that anybody can join at any given moment. We are all one diagnosis, one accident, one day away from being part of this community. So with the aging population going to be over 50, aging in place is so important. We have literally saved by the home modification grant in the 2 years that it's been in existence over $6 million over and over each year by keeping people home in their apartments. The other big thing is there's so many that want out and about and be part of a community, not in a group home, not in a high rise, not in anything, in our own homes with our own families, with our own dogs, that everything out and about should be accessible for all of us. So what we're talking about tonight is not out of the mainstream. It is not impossible to do. It's thinking for the future, because I'll tell you, everybody at some point is going to end up on crutches, end up with some kind of surgery, is going to end up hurt, or we're all hopefully we're all going to die at a very old age that we're going to be needing a walker, wheelchair, or a cane. So like Melissa said, if we're planning with construction for the future and building it now, everybody will be able to age in place seamlessly. It is such an easy process that I wish more people would know. Jack, I want to touch base with you really quickly on something, because we had a conversation the other day. Tell everybody the amazing organization that you're also part of on the outside.
So we were talking about Watuppa Rowing Center, which is a 501c3 nonprofit in Fall River, Massachusetts, which it came about as a rowing club designed for kids in the Fall River area, giving them the opportunity to learn to row, like on the water row, right? Usually it's an elitist sport, and some folks got together a few years ago and decided to start this organization. I was lucky enough by a fellow Rotarian that asked me if I wanted to get involved in the rowing center. And little did I know that there was a part of it that they wanted to build up, which was something focused towards veterans. And these veterans are adaptive athletes or para athletes. So it's a new thing for me. I'm fortunate enough that one of the gentlemen that I also serve on the board with, he's a former Olympian. He is a silver medalist Olympian, and he's also the co-founder of an organization called Freedom Rows. And Freedom Rows, as I'm learning more and more about it, is a remarkable program that will help people in the southeastern Mass, southeastern New England area that are veterans, that are adaptive. But what I've learned recently about it is the simple things that we take for granted, just with being able to get to the water, get to a bathroom, we overlook that a lot. And it's opened my eyes greatly with how I view things. So thank you for bringing that up. It's a great organization, and we'll see how it develops. And we can use your help
Something
with
I
it
have
too.
more. Well, I'm coming down to help because yesterday they got me in a kayak on the water for the first time in a kayak.
There you go.
And let me tell you, I cannot wait to do it again because I didn't fall in and I had a great time, and I cannot wait to get out on the water again. Melissa, with everything else that you do, because you're not busy enough, you do a lot of charity and you're involved with a lot of different organizations. Highlight some of the charity organizations or the organizations that you're part of, so that everybody knows that you're not just going for money, you're also giving back as much as you're doing.
So RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress, which is Tina's organization. I am thrilled to be a part of it, and what an amazing organization you have, and president. So that I've been a part of for a few years now. Thank you. And that's really opened up my eyes. And we have our second annual event coming up in September, which maybe you can talk about later. And that's just the awareness and Tina winning all your crowns and for the state and bringing so much focus here on the state and for the ADA. That's amazing. I also love animals, and I volunteer with Paul Vanas with Anchor Paws in Rhode Island for probably about maybe 5 or 6 years now. I foster when I can and give back as much as I can and help and so forth. So that, and then also anytime I can help with the meditation and yoga and Pilates and exercise for others, for myself and for others, and anything with autism and special needs. So that's my focus.
Yeah, so you do so much. And Pat, you get back as well. Like I said, you donated a fridge to my house, and I know I'm not the only one that you give back to. So tell us a little bit about your philanthropy as well.
Well, I've learned, I'm new to this, so I've learned everything about this from Melissa. So we try to help everybody, you know, at the store. We don't turn anybody away. Whoever needs anything, advice, anything like that, we work with a couple of organizations in state. The Angeles Man is one of them, where they have a percentage of ADA compliant apartments. So this is, I mean, we need your voice. You know, Melissa's educated me quite a bit, but I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to appliances and why they exist. But I want to help more. And Melissa's kind of dragging me into it, and I'm coming peacefully and happily. So whatever I can do for anybody, I'm learning every day. So whatever you need, you know, I think people need to be more vocal and say, okay, this is what we need. Jump in and help. And I think everybody will. You know, I agree with Melissa about housing, you know, make it a more affordable a center. I mean, the malls are closing, turn them all into a center and keep one floor for arts and crafts and whatever. But create a community. I'm on board with that all the way. But if anybody needs anything from me, you know, anybody
I
needs anything,
agree.
pick up the phone.
I agree with you 100%. And look at, you have 3 amazing people in front of you right now. Not only are they knowledgeable and well versed at what they do on their day job, as I say, but they're also giving and they're helping a community that needs a lot of help and needs a lot of support and needs champions like each one of them to make sure that we are taken care of, we are seen and we are heard. And the only way that we are seen and heard is by having amazing people who stand beside us and fight for us as well. I want to do a quick round robin. If all of you give your contact information, and then we're gonna wrap it up with your 1 minute why they should contact you. But Melissa, give us your contact information of how people can get in touch with you, please.
Sure. My cell phone is 401-588-2400. The office is 401-270-1200. My website, you can go to Melissa, MELISSA Baker, BAKER.exprealty.com. And you can call me, you can text me. If you'd like to email me, White Lion, LION, realtygroup@gmail.com. And I'm here to help, assist, chat, whatever you need for real estate or, you know, with autism, special needs, and ADA. If I don't have the answer, I'll help find the answer for you.
That's great. Jack, give us your information.
So my cell phone number is 401-569-3731. And my website, which has all my contact information as well, is heroeswayhome.com. And honestly, if it's about Freedom Rose, about becoming somewhat athletic, if you need adaptive training, hit me up. If it has to do with purchasing or renovating a home for access, just give me a call. And I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to help.
Thank you so much. Pat, give us your information.
It's Frank D. Clementi's Appliance, Reservoir Avenue in Cranston. Phone number is 401-785-2627. Any information you need, any way I can help, anything involving somebody that needs something, please don't hesitate to call. I'm here to help.
And thanks much. We have one final question. And no, I do not wear my crown when I do my podcast because it's not about me all the time. Although I love wearing my crown, it is about all of my people and all of the people that support me. So sometimes the queen needs to take her crown off and just talk from the heart. So I want you all to give us your 1 minute reason why they should be getting involved with you and the ADA. I'm going to start with you on this one, Jack.
So again, it's real simple. I'm here to help. It's really that easy. The veteran community, I happen to serve in that for 26 years. And sometimes we don't look for help. It's just something that is inside of us. And there's plenty of it there. And if I can be a part of that, whether it's financing a home or getting you on the water, then I'm all about that. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for your service, Jack. And yes, you are getting me on the water. So see, here's my reach out to you right now.
There you go.
Pat, give us your 1 minute sum up.
Well, you probably want to contact me. I'm pretty knowledgeable, but I'm willing to help. And that's all I can afford. I can give it to you. If you need something, please don't hesitate. You know, we're all in this together. We're part of a community. Rhode Island's very, very small. So if you need somebody that needs a hand or needs a product or anything, just call us. We'll take care of you.
Yes, and Rhode Island is so small. Now you guys know Jack and Pat and Melissa, so now you all know my guys. Melissa, give us your summary.
So with my 32 years experience in real estate, renovating, fixing, flipping, my vision, and I know I can bring it to fruition. I would like to partner and work with others and bring the apartment complexes, bring a mall, bring the commercial centers that need to be, they're vacant. Let's make it happen. Let's make a beautiful world here in Rhode Island. We don't have any place for our community. When I say our community, the ADA, the special needs, the autism, where do our fellow Rhode Islanders, where do they go? Where do they go? And we need a place. We need it to be safe, loving, kind, healthy, and let's grow this. Let's do it. Other states have it. Why not us?
Absolutely. And where do we go? We go to people that support us. So we go to Melissa and Jack and Pat. We go to the organizations that support our community, that they get our community and they know what to do. So thank you all so much for being part of my show tonight. Your knowledge is extensive and I hope everybody reaches out to you, because if they don't, they are not doing the right thing. They are not supporting our community like you all are. So thank you for all of you do. And thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you so much. And I invite everybody to come back next Wednesday night when we are going to be talking to Josh Basil, who is a quadriplegic. He's a father. He's a family man. He runs his own business. He is involved with so many organizations. I am telling you, it is a show you are not going to want to miss. So next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, same time, same channel. Can't wait to see you all here. And as I always say, don't just sit there, make a difference. Have a great week, everybody.
I'm Chaz Kalenda, and I'm running to be the next Rhode Island Attorney General. I practiced law for the last 16 years, 12 of them in the office of the Attorney General, so I have the knowledge and experience to do that job at a high level. I'm not here to fight for a political agenda. I'm not here to fight for a special interest. I'm here to fight for the rights of every Rhode Islander, no matter where you come from or no matter what your background is. I'll need your votes on September 13th for the primary election and November 8th for the general election. If you have any questions about where to vote or how to vote, please contact your local Board of Canvassers or the Secretary of State's office or website. I'm not running to be just another politician. I'm running to be a public servant who can serve as a much-needed check and balance on the state of Rhode Island to root out the corruption both inside and outside of our system. We need your support. You can visit my website at chas4ag.com to learn more about me, donate, or volunteer your time. I'm Chas Kalenda, and I approve this message.
To take home the Golden Gloves, you've got to put in the work, and you've got to be tough as nails. Ashley Kalis was driven to achieve. Today, Kalis is still fueled by that same hope, grit, and determination. A mother of 3 school-aged boys and successful business owner who ran testing and vaccination sites across the state. Kalis is the fighter Rhode Island needs right now because it's time for a change. Ashley Kalis for governor.